going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, and happy Monday, people. The day after watching that England watch-along that was not particularly great, but they got the job done in the end. Jude Bellingham FC, and obviously there's another game later on in the week, and Ukraine versus Romania is on now, actually, which we'll have a little look at. Dovbyk, who we've been linked with. Zinchenko's obviously in this game as well. Apologies for being late. Apologies. Yeah, it was my computer decided to update as I logged on, and that was at least 5 minutes out the window. Definitely running on Jamaican time. My apologies, people. Kev's on the green screen. He has to. He has to. We spoke about it a lot yesterday, of course, and the England watch along, but I know there'll be people here today that haven't, that maybe didn't tune in to the England game, where we discussed it for quite a while. As I said, I do want to do something, whether we raise some money or whether we do something for charity. We're going to do something in his name and his honour, of course. And for those of you, obviously, that didn't tune in yesterday, and we're discussing it for the first time, obviously, Kev passed away at the weekend. Terrible news, big loss for football, for the community, for his family, for his friends, for everyone. And a loss for this community, man. You know, I was really looking forward to getting him back on the channel and discussing Arsenal and probably debating and arguing for most of the show. But it was all love, man. And yeah, man, it's crazy to think we're never going to have him on the channel again. But he had to get the green screen today. And yeah, man, it was crazy. And as I said yesterday, so I hope I'm not repeating myself. And big up Master of Disaster, man. Sorry to hear that. He said his dad passed away one day before Kev, man. Really sad news, bro. Appreciate you tuning in and commenting and watching today. As I said, and a few weeks ago, obviously the news broke that he was really unwell and he was fighting. But because we hadn't heard anything for a few weeks, I just got the impression maybe he was recovering. And it's just, and you saw the reaction from the football community online, man. You could say everyone was saying the same thing. And I always said the one message we have to take, and this, you know, Kev was very positive about life, you know, go and do things. If you followed him on Twitter, you know, he'd often tweet at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. He was an early bird. He'd always tweet out positivity. And I think that's the message we have to take out of such a shocking situation, man. It's the players, Curtis, man. Yo, come on, man. Big up, Kev. You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? Because, and we're going to do a show, actually, I think, dedicated to him on here this week. I'm going to try and sort it out and get some guests on, and we'll discuss old stories and things like that. But one thing I just wanted to do quickly was a lot of the younger audience will have probably never seen Kevin Campbell play. Obviously, he played for Arsenal in the 90s, so understandably so, no problem. I just wanted to show you this little highlights reel of Kev as a player, because sometimes a lot of people will have watched him on the channel and you just know that he was an ex-Arsenal player, but you might not really know what he was about. And this is only a short video. I can't play too much because you know what social media is like. They'll give me some sort of copyright strike. But I was just looking at this video and I thought it'd be nice maybe to have a look. Just look at some of these goals that he's scoring. How do I get this on? Can we make the screen bigger than that? Enter. Oh, exit. Let me just play it anyway. So I better definitely mute it. Look at some of these goals from him. This is Cup Winners' Cup, you know. I think that's the semi-final. Driller, bottom corner. Last European trophy we won, you know, he played. Ball over the top, what you got, Kev, on the shoulder. Inside, bup, all that bottom corner. Gunman celebration as well, yo. How you mean? Ball whipped in, head on there. Yo, number 10 shirt as well. Bellingham celebration. Him and Righty, you know, shirt tucked in and all sorts. Old school days. Kev, you know, yo. Bad boy striker. Into Righty. Flick. Hey. Nah. Pull it. I don't care if they give me a copyright. Are you, man, seeing this volley on his weaker foot? Check the movement. Into Righty. Righty flicks it. Left foot, Kev. Bap! Voila to Highbury. Look at Righty shouting at him. Merson with him. What a goal. Ooh, what? Number 14, Thierry. No, I got to pull that as well. What's it? I never knew he wore 14 at yeah, you man seeing that? I got to pull both them goals. Spin and volley, crossbar and in. Left foot volley. Look at that on his left. I never even seen these goals. Check this goal. Chest, flick, volley, bar and in. 14 shirt before Thierry, you know, kissing the badge as well. Oh, that was Righty off the bar. Campbell with a rebound. The celebrations, bruh. Come on, man. Look. Silverware. More silverware. Baller. Nah, man. Real baller. I tell you, we could do with him now up front. Baller, man. You see them goals, people? Number 14 shirt before Thierry, you know. Nah, I'll be real, man. Honestly, it was... Kev was away from the channel and the shows that we did, man. That guy was so supportive. That guy was so supportive, man. Honestly, I spoke to him most weeks. I spoke to him. And he was so supportive, man. A legend. Absolute legend. Luke said, Curtis, I've sent you something on Twitter from Brixton dedicating to Kev. I will check that as soon as I come off. Big up. As I said, I think for the start, we'll do a show maybe dedicated to him. And like you just said, Daryl, I want to do a compilation video. Maybe some of the best bits of the shows that we've done. It's going to take a while because, you know, we did a lot of shows. Stevenage Gunnar said, I had the pleasure of seeing him play. My era, happy times. Yeah, man. Fizzy said, despite seeing these before, they look better. Yeah, yo, do you know why? Because I'll be honest, I haven't even seen some of them goals. I was probably like just taking it for granted at times that Kev's on the show. This is a guy that was at the club in '89 when we won the title at Anfield. You know, he won the domestic cup double and the Cup Winners' Cup. This guy's steeped in Arsenal history, people. Baller. Some of them goals were outstanding. But yeah, man, listen. We'll definitely do a show. I'm going to message some people, try and get some people on who are obviously close to him as well. We'll do a show, an evening show, hopefully this week. And then we're going to try and do something else moving forward to sort of dedicate to him. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can do something, a charity match or give some money to charity, do something in Brixton, which is obviously where he's from. I don't know. We'll do something. Bow tie Thursday. Yeah, he used to wear the bow tie, didn't he, on Sky? He did. Big loss. Some of my favourite streams was the debates with Kev. And listen, he was tough. We know, man. Kev wasn't easy, you know. Broke the neck settings, you know. If he believed in something, he would stick by it, you know. But one of the good guys, man. Real talk. BX Gunner, 94 against Standard Liège. They went ham. They were winning big trophies then, man. It's funny, after the show with us here, he talked about Havertz. Havertz suddenly became good. And that was about the time he last came on the show. Remember, he said Havertz playing normal. I nearly fell off my chair. Havertz started playing after that, to be fair. I remember Pierre Van Hooydonk going on strike when Kev was sold. That's how loved the man was. Others were refusing to play without him. Bro, don't forget the machetes, you know what I mean? What's going to happen to all them wine bottles that was behind him, man? Were they empty? What was going on? Kev loved the club and the club loved him. I really hope they honour him. They have to. The club have to do something for him. They have to. Rob says, Kevin Campbell, a legend who will never be forgotten. And listen, I appreciate, as I said yesterday, and I know I'll be repeating it for some of you who tuned in, but not just a loss for me, it's a loss for us. He was a part of this community. He used to come on this show and we'd be backstage for maybe 5-10 minutes before the show. Sometimes we'd talk for 15-20 minutes after the show. And he knew, he said, yo, you know, this is a tough crowd for me to please, you know, he knew. But, you know, it was always good. It was always good, man. And Alvin said, life is too short and unfair. Live your life to the maximum. Live it to the fullest. Make the most of it. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Make the most, people. Go for that job. Chase that dream. Do what you have to do. Live on the front foot, man. No time to waste. That's what we have to take from this, you know. Tammy said he gifted me the Paul Davis book. Oh, fair play, man. Leahy said it is rare for a player to play for multiple clubs. All those fan bases loved him. He was truly a class act, 100%. LSK, Kev felt like an uncle, and I didn't even know him. But you did know him, you know. You knew him through communities, whether it was this community or other channels, you knew him. That's who he was. That's the beauty of YouTube. There are things about YouTube you think, and Twitter and all the... But the beauty of it is you can connect with people who you might never meet in person. That is the beauty of it. Kev was a part of this community, and you guys are part of the community. So you were connected to him, you know. But yeah, man, listen, we'll as I said, we're gonna do something to you know, dedicate it to him. That's for sure, people. Let's talk about Arsenal. That's what Kev loved. It was the Arsenal. That's what we used to talk about for hours on this channel, and what we want to do is see Arsenal start moving and shaking. There's a couple of shameless things. You know, Arsenal loves... Well, I can't blame Arsenal for this, but they're part of it. And listen, I'm doing this for the community. If you're about today, depending on where you are, Nando's... You know, you always get entertainment. You know, being an Arsenal content creator, you will never go without content. It might be shameless, but there will always be content. You want new signings, I know. Nando's UK is giving away thousands of bottles of fan favourite sauce, Peri Peri Saka, created by our star boy, Bukayo Saka, at every UK and Ireland restaurant this afternoon between 3:30 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. From tomorrow, this is today, because this was obviously written yesterday. No, you're right. No, it was written today. But from tomorrow, the sauce will no longer be on the sauce station in restaurants. Saka is keen to give back to the fans who supported the launch. To get your hands on a free bottle, head to your local Nando's, ask for Peri Peri Saka. Bottles will be given to customers on a first-come, first-served basis. Once they're gone, they're gone. I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, what the hell is this? I've tuned in. I want to hear who we're signing. We're talking about Saka sauce. But listen, it's Arsenal news. Some of you might like the sauce. I've never tried it. I don't really go Nando's, you know. I think Nando's is kind of overrated. It's not bad, but it ain't. But I'm just saying, if you live near a Nando's, maybe you haven't tried it yet, you don't even have to buy a meal to get the sauce. You just go in there, say, can I have a bottle of Saka sauce? They'll give it to you. First come, first serve basis. 3:30, so get there at 3:30 because I'm pretty sure they'll be gone later on within that hour. So, Lawrence said I actually may head down to Nando's. So, you know, even if one person gets a free bottle. And why should you pay for it at the end of the day? Salman said I'm only interested in my wife's sauce. Listen, I'm trying to help the community. Right? Listen, I'm not going Nando's. I haven't, you know. But I'm just saying, if you're local to a Nando's, you're in the UK or Ireland, 3:30 p.m, go there, ask for your free bottle. Ask for your free bottle. That's all. You know what I'm saying, Franklin? Free is free. Remember, this is discontinued from tomorrow. So this is how I'm looking at it from a smart point of view, people. Even if you don't want the sauce, the world is so crazy nowadays. Who knows, in 6 months' time, you'll see somebody selling that sauce on eBay. And you say, rah, if only I'd gone and got my free sauce, I could have shot at it on eBay and made a little money. So I'm thinking long term. I'm trying to help you people. We're in a worldwide recession. Electricity's going up. Nothing's free right now. So yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, it's world-class PR. It really is. But yeah, I know someone's going to go and get it for free. We have got this game on in the background, so if... it looks like Zinchenko's at left-back, which... maybe they didn't watch him playing at left-back for us last season. Saka sauce is free. 3:30 today at Nando's, anywhere in the UK or Ireland. You don't have to buy a meal. You just walk in, ask for a Saka sauce, and they'll give you a bottle. But it's first come, first serve between 3:30 and 4:30, bro. So there you go. Emmanuel said, Big Kev, gone but never forgotten, always in our hearts. 100%, bro. 100%. It's probably out of date, people are saying. You're not wrong. It's you're not wrong still. You're not wrong. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. But hey, shameless settings. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some transfers because I don't know, you know, I'm a little bit like, how can I say it with Arsenal right now? I've got that feeling with Arsenal that I have most summers when the transfer window opens. And then maybe they'll get a player that calms it all down and it disappears. But at the moment, I'm a little bit like, is this that link with everybody, sign nobody, summer again? I don't know. We're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to see what you guys think. And we'll kind of break down what is happening. Because, and listen, I know a lot of people online are saying, look, the transfer window's only just opened. There's no rush. A lot of other clubs haven't signed no one. I always say this. I'm not interested in what any other club's doing. Not interested. People say, oh, you know, well, City haven't, but we're trying to catch Man City up. The team that's playing catch-up needs to do more work than the team that you're chasing. We're trying to bridge the gap, so we got to be on the front foot. We got to move early. And I know, listen, there's financial issues, but we're in the middle of June. We haven't sold one player or signed one player yet. I know the Euros and stuff will slow things down, but listen, we got to get business done. Right, breaking news this morning. Let's talk transfers. Again, Victor Osimhen news. Again, these stories here, I always say to people, don't get too caught up in these stories. I don't want anybody to leave this show today and get really excited that we're about to sign Victor Osimhen. Take it, listen to it. If it happens, maybe some of you don't actually want him. Maybe some of you do want him. But there's two stories coming out about Victor Osimhen this morning. This one from Rai Sport, journalist Ciro Venerato. Arsenal will make an attempt to sign Victor Osimhen in the next few days. However, it will be lower. It will be a lower sum than his 130 million euro release clause, which is about 110 million pounds. Napoli will have to evaluate the pros and cons on the offer for Osimhen, who dreams of playing in the Premier League. And then the second part of the story was saying that they've had an offer in recent days from Saudi that apparently was a huge offer in terms of wages, and apparently he's rejected the move again. Now, there were rumours last year he was offered between 700,000 and 800,000 euros a week, and he rejected it. And apparently he's rejected it again. So he clearly isn't desperate to go to Saudi, which is a bit of a positive thing, because I always felt he was just on a money, hype. It did kind of feel like he was going to go to Saudi. But clearly he wants to stay in a top league. He said many times he wants to play in the Prem. I'm not going to lie, he was capping for the Chelsea move. But it looks like Chelsea are not going to go for him. They're going to go for a younger striker. I know we've spoken about him many times. But just generally, how would you guys feel about signing Osimhen? And what I keep saying to people is, you've got to remember, we're in a situation where there aren't that many strikers. There aren't that many strikers that are very good that we can probably get this summer. So I get it. I was saying last week, get Ivan Toney. A lot of people were saying no. I was saying I'd take Osimhen. A lot of people saying no. I always say to people, if you're going to reject all these names, tell me who we should go for, who we can get. Yeah, I'd love to get Isak, but it doesn't look realistic under this ownership. If they were going crazy and just booted the door down, maybe we could. But who do we go for? I put a tweet out this morning saying about this Dovbyk, and we're going to talk about him. I personally think we should be looking at him as well. I really do. Gyökeres seems to have just fallen off the radar because he's got this knee injury. I believe he's had a small operation. Everyone seems to have just gone away from that. I suppose when a player gets a knee injury, what you don't want to do is then turn up with £85 million and sign that player, because you don't know how that knee injury is going to affect him moving forward. So who do you go for? Oh, and there's a goal for Romania. Romania have taken the lead against Ukraine. Are you surprised? They've got Got Zinchenko in their back four. What do you expect to happen? But yeah, 1-0. And that was a nice goal, by the way, as well. So yeah, I keep saying to people, who is the striker? I mean, Master of Disaster said Osimhen misses 10 to 11 games a season for injury reasons. Too much for a guy with a 110 mil release clause. Trixie said Gyökeres isn't off the radar at all. Literally saw him 2 articles ago. I mean, in terms of a lot of the outlets are saying Arsenal are not really looking at him. They feel that for 85 million, they're not sure. Dre said, I'd rather not play that game. Arteta loves Havertz. His position is secured. This is just news for content, in my opinion. And I hear you on that. And I always say it, right? I'll put out stories. Oh, that's an unbelievable goal. That could be goal of the tournament. He hit it first time. I thought he controlled it. Oh, my. That's goal of the tournament, by the way. The ball's rolled. Look at Zinchenko hugging the goalkeeper. The ball's rolled across. He's whipped it in the top corner. First time on the bounce. Crossbar and in. That is the goal of the tournament so far. Dre, listen. I always say to people on this channel, if we're discussing an article, I will give you my opinion on it. I'm not here to hype anyone. You know, I will put it on the thumbnail if it's headline news and talk about it, and then we'll break it down. Is the journalist a trusted journalist? Do we really think this is going to happen? I think Arsenal are probably talking to Napoli. I'm going to be honest. Let's do the maths. We do need a striker. I do probably think Havertz ends up being the first choice. But they have said before Arteta likes Osimhen. We know that Osimhen's agent came to the Arsenal training ground a year ago to meet Edu to discuss maybe a future move to Arsenal. Edu maybe wanted to see the numbers. What's it going to cost? Can we figure out a deal in a year's time? There is a connection between the agent, between Edu, between Arteta. So it's not impossible. We've dealt with Napoli before. It's not an impossible deal. I think they're now in a situation, Napoli, where if Osimhen has said no to Saudi, I don't think any club in Europe is going to give you 110 million for Osimhen, not this summer. I just don't think they are. Initially, everybody thought that PSG were going to buy him to replace Mbappe. It seems like they were interested. But I think this is a very different window. I don't think many clubs are going to spend £100 million on players this summer. I really don't think so. I think this is a summer where clubs will try and save a little bit of money and buy different players. As you said, George, you've got PSR, profit and sustainability. And obviously, like I said, in France, their TV deal could be halved because Canal Plus are saying without Mbappe, this league has no interest outside of France. I'll be real. How many French league games are you going to watch on your TV this season? I'll be honest. If I watched a French league game last season, it was only for Kylian Mbappe. I'm not tuning in on a Saturday night to to PSG against, I don't know, Rennes to watch, you know, that Ramos up front. And I ain't watching it. I was watching for Mbappe. I was watching when Messi was there, when Neymar was there. That league is in turmoil financially. So they're not dropping 100 million on Osimhen. They're just not. So I think the deal could be gettable. Could we drop a player to them as part of the deal? We know they've been linked with Smith Rowe. We know they've been linked with Gabriel Jesus. Or will they accept less money? You know, will they accept maybe 90 million for him? Would you guys take him if we could get the price down a little bit? It's interesting. Gunnar Roller said, in tears watching this comp, the Kevin Campbell one, and reliving my childhood. All 90s black kids on my school playground wanted to be right, Campbell or Davis. Real life hero. Probably Rocky Rocastle as well. Michael Thomas, but big up, bro. It is sad. Sorry to bring you to tears by playing it, but you know, a lot of people are very upset. Iran said, Big C, I'm warming up to the idea of Onana. If he can be good on the ball, he could be anything. Yaya 2.0. Or he could be the Wan-Bissaka of midfield. That's gone a bit quiet since the weekend when that story broke. Again, I think Arsenal were probably speaking to Everton. Again, we know that Everton are in a lot of trouble financially. They've got to balance the books by the 30th of June. Doesn't look like Braithwaite's going to Man United at the moment. I think Arsenal, again, are probably trying to get Onana at a lower value than the 50 million that Everton want for him. So maybe we're looking at 35, 40 million. So it's a risky game. Sometimes you get a bargain, but sometimes you miss out on the player. Alfred said Sesko looked decent yesterday. Like I said, I'm not going to cap. I didn't watch the game. I was out and about yesterday, and I saw that volley where he hit the post. But, you know, you guys will know more than me. Those of you who watched the game yesterday, it's funny, we spoke about him on yesterday's stream. Half the people in the stream were saying, I don't think he played well, and half the people were saying he looked lively. So that's the beauty of football. It's all about opinions. Nick said he cried when he heard of Kevin's pass and it hit hard. Yeah, bro. It was crazy. Forest are getting done by FFP. They might have to sell Gibbs White. Shibe said, big up Curtly, just switched to Twitch. Big up everyone locked in. 1,500 on YouTube. 33 on Twitch. Big up everyone. C-Unit Business. That picture of Kevin the Bruised Banana kit has to be the permanent green screen. Don't worry, man. It'll be on the green screen plenty of times, man. It'll be there, man. It'll be there. Don't you worry about that. So, yeah. There we go. Victor Osimhen. I'll be honest. In this market that we're in now, in the situation that we're in right now, you get that Osimhen price below 100 million, I would be a lot more interested in it. I'll be real. You get Osimhen for, and it's still a lot of money. Like, even when I'm saying it out loud, something in my mind says that Osimhen is just not a player that should be worth 90, 100, 110 million. I just don't see that player when I watch him. But in this market, with his goal record, with the kind of player he is, you get him for 90 million, I think you've got to take it. I'll be honest with you. But will Napoli agree to that, would be the thing. Will Napoli agree to that? Yeah, he probably is a 70 mil player. But the market's so inflated, you know. Mudryk cost 88 million. One decent year in Ukraine, you know. Caicedo, 115 million. So when you're the selling club, and especially when you're selling to a Premier League club, you're going to say, well, you're paying £100 million for defensive midfielders. This is the star striker of Italian football, to be honest, at the moment. And, you know, he's got that release clause. So if we're going for Osimhen, I'd rather go hard on the wingers. No, Diddy said unknown C. I hear ya. Amo said, no, the green screen's making me tear up. Live streams of Kev felt like he was in the room. Do you know what as well? This is another sad thing that, you know, and this one thing I've learned. I know, and we knew anyway, but sometimes these things bring a reminder. One thing I wanted to do was bring Kev on a member stream so you guys could interact with him, and he was going to do it. But obviously, when he became unwell, I just had to leave him and give him his space, and we never did it. So that was, you know, that's a real shame as well. But what can we do, man? What can we... I'd love to get Ian Wright on a show as well, and we could speak about Kev, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do, you know. I was waiting for Kev to get back on the channel, yeah. And he was messaging and that, saying when he gets better, he'll come on, but... Dovbyk lays it off. Ukraine. Still a chance. No. Romania look quite good, you know. They got... They press very quick. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, people. What's Osimhen slagging off the Nigeria manager on Instagram Live? I mean, you doing things like that, mate. Oh, Romania nearly scored a second. You're doing things like that, bro. The manager will go nowhere near you. Simple as that. Static, hey, Curtis, if you see this, bro, I came quickly to say hello. Have a good show. I'm off now. Birthday celebrate. Hey. Big up Static, bro. Long time mod on the channel. And have a good birthday, bro. Have a good birthday. It's my birthday a week today, actually, as well. So, yeah, man, I hope you have a great birthday, bro. And, you know, go about your business. Enjoy yourself. But I appreciate you jumping in and throwing in a comment. That would be amazing if Wrighty came on. He's a funny... But I heard before... I mean... Yeah, we are going to move to 4 p.m, but just today, because I already had it penciled in for 2 p.m. I heard before Wrighty is heavily involved with Arsenal. So Wrighty... And listen, I'm not saying he wouldn't come on the channel, But what I heard was that it's a lot more difficult to get righty on YouTube channels, especially if they feel you're a channel that will question the football club, shall we say, which I would certainly fall into that category. So, you know, I've heard of people, Romania at the bar there again with a cross. I've heard of people trying to get righty on channels before, and it's kind of that, you know, they have to speak to the club. What I'll say is, I think righty is in some way or form like contracted with Arsenal. So for him to go on channels to do with Arsenal, where Kev was not directly contracted, so he could go and do whatever he wanted to do. So, you know, and I'm very self-aware, people. I know what category I'm going to fall into when it comes to Arsenal Football Club. They're going to look at me as a channel that very much questions the football club. So whether righty would come on this channel, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. AFTV tried to do a show with him and it disappeared. You sure you want... Hey, no, we're not going to do that, bro. We're not. Although, I'll be honest, it was definitely questionable what righty was wearing in that GQ shirt, but we won't say too much in case I try and get him on the show. I'll have to edit this bit out, but people were calling Uncle Righty Auntie Righty. We'll say no more about it. We'll say no more about that. Curtis Shaw TV, enemy of the state, bro. I'm telling you. Curtis, if you don't mind saying, how did you meet Kevin Campbell? What was your first impression? Funnily enough, the first time I met him was when I was a youth player at Forest, and he was in the first team. And him and Van Hooijdonk up front. So obviously, being a Nottingham boy, I watched him play live quite a few times for Forest, because I couldn't get to Highbury when I was young. My dad was a Liverpool fan. He didn't want to watch Arsenal. I couldn't get there. So I saw Kev play for Arsenal. Obviously saw Ian Wright play for Arsenal because he went on loan to Forest as well. So watching those two growing up and then seeing both of them at Forest was great. And then obviously met him years later when I started the YouTube thing, and he was working with AFTV, and it was just all from there, really. But yeah, the righty stuff was, that was definitely questionable. I can't lie. But Kev was just the same as he was on the show. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys did know him, you know? He was just the same. Spurs 40 million bid for Ivan Toney was rejected, honestly. And I know some people don't think he's that good anymore. I may be in a minority. I really, really hope he doesn't go to them. And the sad thing is, he would go to them. Because the reality is, the guy wants a move. Oh, it looks like it's true as well. I mean, listen, some of you won't mind this, because there's a lot of people now who don't rate Ivan Toney. They're going to sign him. Brentford have rejected Tottenham's opening offer of £40 million for Ivan Toney. Toney's valuation is around 60 to 65 million, but it's understood a £55 million offer would secure the deal. Tottenham have said personal terms will not be an issue. I am fuming if that happens, man. I'm sorry. He might have no pace, bro, but the guy scores goals. You don't need to be super quick to score goals nowadays. I'm so fuming if they... And they have been linked with Eze. Honestly, why do Arsenal never sign the players that we want as a fan base? And I know this ain't Football Manager. It's not like I expect Edu to tune into this show and go, oh, who does Curtis want? I'll sign him. But, okay, Ivan Toney, we might be a little bit divided as a community on Ivan Toney. I think we should sign Ivan Toney. Some people don't. But Eze... Ivan Toney has been in interviews saying, I want to play for Arsenal. And you watch, we're going to let this guy go and play for them lot down the road. And Eze, I mean, the guy said he loves Arsenal. We released him as a kid. He's an absolute baller. And we're going to... Yeah, Kane ain't got no pace. He's one of the best strikers in the world. I don't know, man. If they sign Toney and Eze, I'll be... The Ivan Toney one alone... Even seeing these pictures, it's winding me up. They're going to sign him. 55 million, they offered 40. They reckon there's already a verbal agreement between him and the club on personal terms. Well, we'll see. We'll see next season. I hope if he goes there, I hope he absolutely stinks out the place. But yeah, would rather Osimhen and Eze. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'd be more if we get Osimhen or someone like that, no problem, But if we just stick with Havertz and you're letting Toney go to Tottenham, I just don't understand that. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Let's talk about another striker. And he's currently playing now, and his team are not doing very well. So I would not judge him off this game. Because if you're watching this, you won't want him. I have watched him a few times. Arsenal have added Girona striker Artem Dovbyk to their list of potential targets this summer. 24 goals and 8 assists in 36 matches last season for La Liga's top goal scorer. The 26-year-old is likely to cost around 40 million for the Ukrainian international. And what I always say to people is, sometimes be careful how you judge a player in an international tournament and look at who's he playing for? What kind of football do they play? I've watched Dovbyk a few times this season, and his all-round game's he's not a wow player. You're not going to watch him and think, oh my days, like 5-star skill moves or 99 pace. What he is, he's a finisher. The guy knows where the back of the net is. He scores all kinds of goals, left-footed. And listen, and I have genuinely watched this guy a little bit more. He's not amazing, but he's a goal scorer. A natural goal scorer. Top goal scorer in La Liga last season. So playing for Girona, when you got Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and so on and so forth. 26 years of age, 24 goals, 8 assists, 40 million release clause. I think he'd bang goals in. Again though, he's not super quick. And because he's quite tall and left-footed, are they going to look and say, well, there's similarities with Havertz, do we need to sign him? Do they want someone who's a lot different to Havertz? He might fall in a similar category, although he does play a little bit different to him. Dovbyk is a smart player that can finish, always in the right place at the right time and can finish. And Salman lives in Spain, watches La Liga. He knows about him. Put him in front of Odegaard and he'll bag. Also, the thing is, Girona play a good passing style of football, which isn't overly dissimilar to the way Arsenal play. So, or not too different anyway. So, I think it's a style that he could fit into. This is the type of player our club requires. Well, I'm looking at it. If we're not going to go and get an Ivan Toney, right, because they don't like him. If you're not going to sign Osimhen because he's too expensive, you didn't get Sesko, you're not going to break the bank to get Isak. You've then, and it doesn't look like we're in for Gyökeres anymore. You've then got to look for strikers that are maybe going to cost 50 million or less. You're not likely to get a world-class striker for 50 million or less in the modern game. So what you've got to do is be smart with it and think, right, we need to get somebody that can come in and score goals, that is physical, that gives us a different option. Because I just think whatever striker we get, Havertz is still going to get game time up front. So we're going to get somebody that rotates. So for me, £40 million, 26 years of age, knows where the back of the net is. I think Dovbyk would be a very, very smart signing. I really do. And as I said, he's not a wow player. You're not going to see 10 step overs. You're not going to see 15 nutmegs. He's just a goal scorer. He hits the back of the net. Scores from outside the area, inside headers. He's 6'1". No, 6'2" he is. Girona last season, 36 games, 24 goals, 8 assists. Top goal scorer in La Liga last season. That was his first season in La Liga. The year before that, he was at Dnipro. Again, Ukrainian league, which obviously we know from Mudryk is not the greatest of leagues. But 24 goals, 5 assists in 30 games. So he's a goal scorer, man. He hits the back of the net. He's in the Ukraine squad, although Ukraine look poor today. But I don't think this is maybe where you should judge him too much, because the Ukraine team look poor. I mean, look, Arsenal forever saying, big up Curtis, I don't want the striker. Watching him against Romania, he's stinking out the guy. He's playing for a poor team. It's difficult. You get certain players like Alexis Sanchez. You put him in Arsenal, you put him in Barcelona, you put him in Udinese, you put him in Chile. Not Man United, they didn't work there, but he was that good. You can put him in any team, just give him the ball, he'll make something happen. There are certain players that rely on the quality of the players around him. Dovbyk is a player like that. He does need somebody to create, and this Ukraine team looks poor today. So I don't know. McLovin said Haaland is stiffer than Dovbyk, pause, but the value of goals is literally how you win. Listen, Haaland is not a player, really, that you would think I'm desperate to go and watch him play live. You know, he's very limited all-round game. He stays out of the game. He doesn't have very many touches, but he hits the back of the net. He wins your titles. No, Curtis, you say Sesko is midi is better than Dovbyk. No, but you know the difference? Let me tell you the difference. Sesko, number one, has not had a big goal season, right? 14 goals last year. In the Bundesliga, I would say the Bundesliga is an easier league to score goals in than La Liga, by the way, right? Because look how high the defenses play in the Bundesliga. That's why Timo Werner and all them dons were bagging goals over there, right? Sesko had one season in the Bundesliga, 14 goals. He's 21 years of age. They want 55 million for him. No, not for me. Maybe in the future, but not now. Dovbyk is 26, so he's more mature. He scored 24 goals, Golden Boot winner in La Liga. La Liga is a better league than the Bundesliga. Girona play Manchester City kind of football, which is similar to Arsenal football, which means I think he would fit in our system more. RB Leipzig play quick transition football. They often play two up front, Sesko and Openda in a two. So for me, Sesko didn't fit Arsenal. We don't play counter-attack. We don't play two up front. The guy hasn't scored any significant numbers in a season, and he's £55 million. So Sesko for me was no. That's why I said Benjamin Tesco. There was no value there for me. This guy's 40 million, so he's cheaper. He's done it in a better league. He's older and more experienced. He's scored bags of goals in the last 2 seasons. So for me, it's a no-brainer. He scores goals and we create a whole heap of chances, you know. He has a release clause. Apparently, £40 million. So don't worry if it's the City group. Pay the money and he'll go. But I wouldn't judge him too much playing for Ukraine. They don't look good. Sesko will be a 100 million striker in 1 or 2 seasons. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe or maybe not. There are a lot of strikers out there, you could say that. Do you know what I mean? We've seen players like that with potential and they can disappear. Or he could be 100 million. Who knows? I'd rather have Alvarez than this guy, says Jay. I mean, Alvarez could be available. I just don't think Pep would sell Alvarez to Arsenal. Not now. 2 years ago when we're finishing 5th, he didn't mind shotting Jesus and Zinni. He didn't rate them anyway. I think Alvarez, I don't think he would sell him. Unless he doesn't think Alvarez is that good. Man said, just watch the way Sesko hit the crossbar. Never seen Dovbyk. Bro, like Sidoff, respectfully, bro. Are we really hyping up a man hitting the crossbar? Like, you do know the crossbar is a shot off target. It might look good on the replay when it whacks the bar or the post and bounces out, but it's not a goal, bro. I'm not about to hype up a player because he had a shot that hit the bar. Like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I think we're really overdoing it. If he slapped that in the top corner or it went bar and in, I'd accept your comment. But you're really coming in the comments hyping a man for hitting the bar. You know, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing right now in football, if that's the case. I'm sure I can go through some clips of Dovbyk hitting the crossbar. We're not playing crossbar challenge in a training session, bro. He didn't hit the target. It looked nice. Football's going crazy. I got a man hyping him for hitting the bar. It's wild. Daryl, listen, I am with you. I'm not sitting here, you know, saying that this Dovbyk is like some sort of world beater. He's not. He's not at all. He's a goal scorer. He thrives on scoring goals. And he's £40 million to Girona. You probably wouldn't even have to pay it all at once. I think £40 million is not a huge risk. It's not a huge risk in this market. I think it'd be a smart signing. But yeah, anyway, Sesko hit the bar yesterday. So Let me go and get his name printed on the back of my... He's playing crossbar challenge. Sidorf, you know what? You could do with a timeout for that. I'm being genuine. I can't hype a striker for it in the ball. Brent says, big up Curtis, RIP Kev. If we signed a world-class left-sided 8 and a proper backup to Saka, we might be able to get over the line without a striker. Maybe. It's risky. I've said this before and I've said it again. I wouldn't go with Havertz as the main striker next season because I think there are strikers we could bring in that would score more goals than him, who are out-and-out strikers who, you know, live and breathe scoring goals. However, I'm also aware of the fact that if Havertz is our main striker and plays 30-plus league games up front, he may go and score 15 to 20 goals. Because, yeah, he got 13 goals last season. He looks like he might score a few goals for Germany. He's wearing number 7 starting up front for the Germans. So maybe we won't have to buy a striker. But I would. But if we don't, that's the gamble they're going to take, I suppose. Maybe they'll buy a winger. I'll tell you one thing that was interesting watching that Euros England game was Saka, for me, looked better yesterday than he's looked for Arsenal for a little while. Don't get me wrong, he's had games for Arsenal where he's looked good still, but I thought he looked better yesterday. And England weren't great in the second half. They played well first half. And I just wonder sometimes if Saka would benefit from having a more attacking right back. I felt like he really enjoyed having Kyle Walker making them overlapping runs. And Saka was higher up the pitch. Look at that ball that Walker played where he splits the defence open and Saka makes the run in behind, whips it in and Bellingham scores. How often do you see Arsenal play a ball into Saka like that? Most of the time he gets the ball at his feet. I just wonder sometimes if having a right back who is originally a centre back goes against him sometimes, you know. He looked really good yesterday. He was higher up the pitch. He got in 1v1 situations with the fullback. Why? Because England got the ball to him early. Get the ball to him quickly. Then Kyle Walker's bombing on the overlap, taking away a player. And Saka looked really good yesterday. I'll be honest. You've got, to me, Arsenal, in FIFA terms, for my FIFA or EAFC players, we use Saka like a right midfielder, maybe a right winger. We should be playing him right forward. He should be playing where Salah plays for Liverpool, where you're actually at the corner of the penalty area and you're close to the striker. And you're right, Lay, yeah, he didn't have to defend as much because obviously Serbia didn't attack much and Walker's a very, very good 1v1 defender. Caleb said, bro, your expression when Babs mentioned win the dog had me in stitches. Man acting like Apollo. Oh, dear. Do you know what's funny? Probably 60-40 of the comments on AFTV. 60% were like, oh, this guy, he doesn't rate Arteta, blah, blah, blah. And I can take it. The game is the game, you know. I've said what I've said about the manager. And 40% were like, listen, you know, I think it's a conversation we should have. But maybe even 70-30, not 60-40. But as I said, man, as fans, at the end of every season, we should always look at how we can improve. And that should be the manager, the players, the sporting director, and the ownership. We're Arsenal fans at the end of the day. We're not Arteta fans. We're not Wenger fans. We're Arsenal fans. Brian said Saka was playing 1v1 most of the game. I see why teams double up on him. RIP to Kev, of course. I just looked at Saka yesterday and I thought, wow, this feels like Saka from 2 years ago. Last season, Saka looked a slightly different player, but I think what happened to Saka last year was his reputation went up another level. So he got to that point where every team was like, don't you dare let Saka play 1v1. Go and kick him early and double up on him. I thought they used him well yesterday. They got the ball to him very early. I think that's something Arsenal should take on board next season. Play Saka a bit higher up and get the ball into his feet quicker. I think you get a more dynamic and dangerous Saka. So, something to learn. Anyway, there is a bit more reports today about Ederson looks like he could be on his way out of Manchester City, which I think is great news because I think he's the best ball-playing goalkeeper in world football. And he will not be easy to replace for Pep Guardiola. And it looks like they've been stumped. And we spoke about it the other week. And again, I'm not here to throw shade on Edu and Arsenal. But this is just reality of the situation. Aaron Ramsdale is on £120,000 a week. And he's just sat on the bench at Arsenal all season. Ederson, who you would argue is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if you're talking about maybe top 5, top 6, definitely the best in the world on the ball. He's on £100,000 a week. He's won 6 Premier Leagues. 100 bags. He's on less than Ramsdale. He's on the same as Reece Nelson. He's on the same as Eddie Nketiah, which shows you that we're doing something wrong with the contracts of the lower players. Maybe Ortega would be number 1. I don't know. Or will they buy another one to replace Ederson? Ederson has been offered a contract from Saudi Arabia that will make him the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, believed to be between £400,000 and £500,000 a week. His future at Manchester City is now in doubt. Talks have stalled over a new deal as City are not prepared to match the offer. He's going to go. I think he's going to go. I don't blame him. You're on 100 bags. You've won everything at City. You're in your 30s. I believe he's in his 30s now. You can go and get between 400 and 500 grand a week, tax-free. Go and enjoy yourself. He's 30. He turns 31 in August. So, listen. From a purely shameless Arsenal point of view, of course, we want players to leave City, and I think Ederson would make them weaker. I can't believe they've had him at the club that long on 100 grand a week. It just shows, man. You know, we're giving players like Nelson the same amount of money as Ederson. It's crazy. But anyway, he looks like he could be on his way out. Watch City go and get Mignon from Magic Mike from AC Milan. A player that I would like us to get. Anyway, Xavi Simons. This was an exclusive this morning, caught offside. Arsenal and Manchester United have asked about Xavi Simons. Arsenal may have the advantage as they're prepared to sign him on loan with PSG not looking to sell him. Now, Xavi Simons didn't play well yesterday for Holland, but again, I don't overjudge players too much in these competitions. Players function better in different systems with different players. You have more consistency at club level because you know the team better. I said this summer I would love to see Arsenal sign Eze or Xavi Simons. Eze would be a permanent deal and I think he's a fantastic player. He would suit Arsenal so much. But Xavi Simons on loan would be smart business. And I know he's not the finished article, but there's bags of potential there. He's a goal-scoring attacking midfielder. And you could get him on loan without having to break the bank. So that then allows us to go and spend more money on a centre mid, a striker, a right winger. It would be smart business. Maybe you could get PSG to put an option to buy in there. Possibly. I don't know. I think PSG are trying to be smart and just loan him out, and then bring him back when he's a top player. But maybe they could push to get an option to buy. To me, in a window that clearly we have to be smart with money, and we can't just go 90 million striker, 70 million centre mid, 60 million right winger, 40 million defender. You know, it's clearly not that summer. I think it would be smart to get 1 or 2 players in this summer, which is why, and I know not a lot of people agree with this, I wouldn't have a problem signing David De Gea as the backup goalkeeper. I'll be honest. A lot of people say, no, De Gea's finished. De Gea won the Golden Glove in his last season. He didn't play last season. Now they're talking about signing Jason Steele, who's 33 years of age, from Brighton, who's their second choice goalkeeper. I'd rather sign David De Gea than Jason Steele. Do you know what I mean? Jason Steele has never played at the level of David De Gea. So what I'm saying is, if we could, let's just say we got David De Gea as the backup goalkeeper. He's only the backup keeper. You get Xavi Simons on loan. You've signed a goalkeeper and an attacking midfielder, and you haven't spent any money really in terms of transfer fee. You can then say, right, I can spend big on the striker, big on the centre mid, get a right winger to challenge Saka, job done in your transfer window. I saw a team yesterday of players that are available on a free, and there was, Mats Hummels, who looked incredible for Dortmund in the semi-final, particularly against PSG. He's just been released by Dortmund. Now, he is 35 years of age. So maybe 35 coming to the Prem with the speed of the Prem might not be the ideal. But we've seen these deals work at clubs before. Thiago Silva was fantastic at Chelsea for the first couple of years. You don't have to sign one of these players and play them every week. But their experience, their know-how, just having them as a squad player could be decent. I mean, Varane, you've got Varane, Sergio Ramos and Hummels. I believe Ramos has just been released, hasn't he? Have I got that wrong? I thought Sergio Ramos had just been released. Unless he has another year left on his contract. But I was pretty sure. Yeah, he's left. He is 38. So Ramos, Varane and Hummels are all out of contract. Now, it looks as if apparently Saudi clubs are looking at Ramos. Varane's in talks with Inter Miami. But Hummels, yeah, there's nothing. He had a fallout with the manager apparently, and they've released him. One of them wouldn't be, I wouldn't be totally against one of them as a squad player. Hummels looked brilliant in that semi-final. Pepe, look at Pepe, 41 years of age against us. Hummels as a backup centre-back at Arsenal would be smart business. Very smart. The leadership, the know-how, you can't buy that. You can't buy that. But Arsenal won't do that, will they? Hummels, to be honest, the problem you've got, he'll probably want to go somewhere and play every week. Would he come to Arsenal and sit on the bench? Because you want Gabriel and Saliba to continue. Yeah, Roma apparently interested in him. Slower league, might suit him. He'd probably be first choice. So, but yeah, listen, Xavi Simons. What do you guys think about Xavi Simons? He does divide opinion. I just think there's bags and bags of potential there, and to get him on loan is a bit of a no-brainer to me. Another one, did you know what? I saw the list was so interesting. They were talking about like loan players that you could probably get as well. I think João Felix was on there again. Barcelona might not be able to buy him on a permanent. There's loads of players you can get cheap and be smart this summer. The dog will take more wages. You're not wrong. De Gea has no feet. It works to be a horror show watching him in goal. Yeah, back up though. Not playing every week. Gibella said, Big C, watch the full game versus Liverpool away. 03-04, that Pires winner, bro. Curler, the elegant Frenchman, bro. That whippers in the far top corner. Pires, Bobby Pires, man. João Felix on loan. Would you be against that? Would you be against that? Xavi Simons' loan will be perfect for us as a Saka Odegaard backup. Yeah. Halcyon said, Simons is a crybaby, lacks mental fortitude. I'd prefer Felix. De Gea, no way, will come to Arsenal. I wouldn't be so sure. He just missed a whole season of football. Memphis Depay, that was another one who's out of contract as well. I should have took the picture of the team. I'll try and find it for tomorrow's show and we'll have a look. But listen, it's interesting. What I'm saying is there's players out here that you can get that aren't going to break the bank. You could get João Felix on loan. You could get Xavi Simons on loan. You can get Fofana from Monaco for around 20 million quid. You can get David De Gea. You can get Hummels. You can get this guy Dovbyk for around £40 million. You can be smart this summer and get 4 or 5 players and not break the bank. Barcelona can't buy Felix and Cancelo. It looks like they're going to get Cancelo on loan for another year and then maybe buy him the year after because, him and Pep have fallen out. Pep's not going to forgive him, is he? De Gea would definitely come after how United played him, offered a new contract, then withdrew it. I think he would come to us. I don't think he's got that much love for United. He was so disrespected by Ten Hag. I've been saying Depay since last week. With Depay, again, he just doesn't look the personality that Arteta would go for. He's making rap videos, bro, sitting on Lamborghinis. He's just not going to go for him, is he? You know what I mean? He's probably planning his rap career. He'll probably come to London and make tunes with Dave and Stormzy and that. He drives flashy cars, big jewellery and all that. You know, I see him with big chains on and that. He just don't look like Arteta would go for a Memphis Depay. Yeah, the Prem fixtures are out tomorrow. I think they're out in the morning. I might actually do a live in the morning. Yeah, I think they come out around 9 o'clock. 8, 9 o'clock. So, yeah, we may go live in the morning, or do we just wait till the afternoon show? To be honest, the fixtures don't even bother me that much. You play everyone twice at the end of the day. I suppose it's interesting who you play in the first few games. You know, that's the only bit I really look at, because you think, oh, if somebody doesn't come back from the Euros fit, he might miss that first game or something. And we got the NBA finals tonight as well. I believe it's tonight. Is it tonight? Or is it tomorrow night? Is the NBA finals tonight? Oh, no, I'm wrong. Oh, yeah, Tuesday. Oh, my days. Romania have scored again. Dovbyk and Zinchenko and them, man. They're going to come back quick. Yeah, it's tonight, 1:30 a.m. UK time. That is another belter. Oh, my days. Bottom corner, what a hit. So, I mean, people don't shoot from distance enough nowadays, do they? I always say it about Arsenal, man. We need to shoot more. Shoot from outside the area, man. Not as good as the first goal, but still a quality goal, bottom corner. And, yeah, good sporting day today. I might actually do a watch-along later. I've got something on later. If I do get back in time, we'll do a watch-along for the French game. If not, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we may come on a couple times tomorrow. Just do a quick one for the fixtures. But, yeah, I'm going to try and get on for the French game. Griezmann is available for 15 million. Toney for 55. Is a steal better than Osimhen. The keeper should have saved that, by the way. It's not even a belter. Goes underneath. I mean, it's a great strike. Goes underneath the keeper's arms. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, Griezmann, big wages, might be a bit old now, but he is still a fantastic player. Boston Celtics stand up. Where's Cruz at? Yeah, he's a big Boston Celtics fan, man. He'll be delighted if they win. That was Lunin, innit? Real Madrid. We've been linked with him as well. Straight under his hands. Keep that butterfingers at Real Madrid, man. We don't want him. Told you, just get David De Gea as backup to Real. Free transfer. No messing about. You could say he's a lunatic. I'll leave it. It's a dad joke. I'm here all week, people. It might be too early in the week. Listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Kind comments, obviously, about Kev. We will be doing some shows this week. Hopefully get a show in about Kev if we can as well. Big up to everyone. Enjoy your Monday. Take care. And I will see you all soon, people. Bless.